thing. Alright, so the next deck we're playing is this Anivia control deck. I happened to acquire a third copy of Anivia in vault openings in the last couple weeks, so I figured, you know, why not? Or not the last couple weeks, just last week. And figured, you know what, maybe I can try an Anivia control deck. It's a sign. So I copied kind of the list from the Mobalytics page, since it's not an archetype I'm super familiar with. Played some games with it, decided that there was one change I'd like to make, which was a third copy of Catalyst of Aeons. They had a one of like the box in the list. I just want more ways of consistently making it to the late game. And the fact that this is also kind of a burst speed way of leveling Anivia when you're at 9 mana also seemed really good. So I just wanted more ways of consistently getting to our Rekindlers and Anivia into Gluttony turns. Plus it gains us life, so helps us survive. So that's the change I made. We're going to see how it feels. But yeah, for those who aren't familiar, this deck is all in on Anivia as our only champion. This lets us run copies of Entreat to draw her very consistently. You can obviously run this card in decks with multiple champions, but not quite as good. So this Entreat here is kind of like 3 more copies of Anivia in a way that just costs 2 more mana. The whole idea of the deck is to get Anivias out early and then generate value by killing them with effects like Gluttony to then immediately bring a Rekindler into play and bring back an Anivia, or just kill your Anivias and through combat or other means play Rekindlers to get more. Rekindler, after hitting the board, pairs well with these Chroniclers of Ruin to get their effect again. So the whole idea is just to create a board state where you have like 3+ Anivias on the field, so every time they attack, you're just wiping out their board, dealing massive amounts of damage, and creating a board state that's very, very hard for our opponents to deal with. Past that, obviously, like I mentioned, we are a control deck, so we're running things like Avaros and Sentries, Vile Feast to help control the board in the early game. We have things like Kindly Tavern Keeper to keep our life total high. Withering Wail does the same. Withering Wail also pairs nice with Anivia triggers because it lets us, since we're dealing damage to the entirety of our opponent's board, the Withering Wails let us do that again while also buffering our life total. So we could potentially taking out more of their threats. Avalanche is another sweeper we're running. And then we have some copies of Vengeance in here to deal with. Bigger threats, Ruination for big board states that we need to get rid of. And we have this one of Harrowing in here for games that are going long. They've managed to find a way to take out our Anivias. But now, you know, we can then play the Harrowing, bring back our allies, and hopefully, you know, bring back a bunch of Anivias to then come in, smack them, kill them. And even if that doesn't finish them off, the way Anivia works is they'll be ephemeral, they'll die, but then they'll create eggs that will hopefully then turn into real Anivias or permanent Anivias that can then close out the game in the following turns. So yeah, first time playing this deck on the ranked ladder, just played kind of casual games with it up till now. So let's see how we do. See how it feels. Definitely a neat archetype. I've lost to it many, many times, but I've also beaten it many times as well. It can be a slower deck, but it's definitely got the tools to survive against a lot of the aggressive decks in the game that are relying on burst damage, because it can be very hard for them to overcome all the healing that's available in the deck. Healing on top of, you know, having to play around the sweepers and the removal and whatnot. I'm sure now that I said that, we're going to get run over by aggro multiple times because I'm not good at sequencing my plays with this deck that I'm not experienced with, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll try. Lux Aphelios. No idea really what to expect from a deck like this. Chronicler's not something we want in our opening hand. Probably not these expensive spells either, although I could see Ruination being very good for a deck like this. Maybe we want our one of Vengeance, because Lux going off can be a problem for us, and then Vile Feast early can let us pop her barrier, then kill her in like combat somehow. But no, that's probably not good enough. I'm probably supposed to throw all this back and maybe keep the Vengeance. I could see this being wrong. Like I said, new to this deck, new to this archetype. Feeling things out today.
Night flowers upon my blade.
That's fine. So Anivia, that's kind of one of the key pieces we need, obviously. We'll just take this too. I'll just pass. I might actually just play the Tavern Keeper out. It's a 3/3 heal 2.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
And then what we can do next turn is actually play the Catalyst, which lets us play Anivia the following turn.
Bring the moonlight with them.
Which I think is good. That's fine. I wonder if Aphelios... I wonder if they're playing like an interesting 2-drop in their deck to get value with Crescendum. Be interesting. It's another Anivia. Okay, they're playing Veiled Temple. I think because their shields are down, maybe I'm supposed to Vengeance this. Do we want to get Anivia down next turn and have her start going? If I don't spend my mana here, they're passing for sure. If I play the Catalyst, I get the ramp, but I don't get the healing, and then they get a proc on Aphelios and probably start beating us down. I think I'm just going to kill the Aphelios. This will become a 3/3 from the Temple, which means this can still block it if we care to. And we'll see. I mean, if they generated Gravitum, it's whatever. We'll take 3 and we'll Catalyst the next turn, I suppose. The nice thing about having Entreats in the deck that guaranteed draw us Anivias is that I think we just take this hit. Just take this hit for now. Is that Entreats can be extra copies of Harsh Winds, since that is our Anivia's champion spell. So having access to Harsh Winds like that can feel good a lot of the time. We'll just play this out and pass. It gives them a window to do a lot of stuff, I know, but maybe I'm supposed to threaten Avalanche there, at least for a turn, because even if they want to pass back, we don't, we banks 3 spell mana, they bank 3 spell mana, it's kind of a wash. I did nothing with their turn anyway, so, deal. Oh, this is actually pretty good, because if we can go... Yeah, we can Anivia into...
Let the light guide you.
Now the question is, do I want to just set up to Harrowing them on the next turn? They could be running Bastions in their deck with the fact that they are in Targon, but...
The spirit of winter awakens.
We're definitely going to just open on attacks next turn if they give us the opportunity. It kills both of these, and then...
Let's talk about
Anivia's dead to a bunch of stuff anyway, and I have a Rekindler in hand, so if they want to pump this up, doesn't make a difference to me.
I will be reborn.
I will be reborn. Can you play... No, because that's a Harsh Winds even when thingy.
We each died, then found home.
Okay.
Pushing my limits.
Rekindlers still see that card as a unit that has died. And that they'll bring back. I'm fine with that.
By the light.
They're dealing a lot of damage to us,
Era
though, I have to
begins.
say. Got this... Oh, that's a Harrowing. I thought this was a thingy. Ruination. Gotta remember, single hand, Harrowing. Multiple hands. That's kind of neat. Probably gonna shoot the 3-1. And deal 3, we go down to 9. If they shoot the 4-4, it's a little worse for us, I guess, because I'd like to Chronicler
A beacon through the dark.
while still holding up.
Who's gonna close up?
I guess I can't hold up the thingy anyway. Never mind. That was a heck of a draw.
Let's brighten up their day.
Join the conflagration.
We're probably dead. I think they did. They had one heck of a turn with that leveled.
My time! We burn, then kindle anew.
Well, that's annoying. So they're gonna shoot this, which is unfortunate because that means our Chronicler doesn't do much. Because Anivia lives
No
anyway.
more holding back.
So I think we're just dead then. With Unyielding Spirit on this Lux, I think it's over.
This is our time.
Where did the symbol go? What do we do here? I guess we could Harrowing.
The icy grip of death falls. I bring the storm.
I will end this here.
Shine with me.
At least we kinda got to do the thing.
Burns on.
It might not be good enough, but we got to do the thing.
Time to reflect.
If they play something to trigger a
Invisible to the
thing in their to trigger whatchamacallit, I'm probably supposed to Vile Feast this in response so they don't have a early like a good target for the
A new era begins.
it's a Ruination, but not really relevant.
A beacon in battle. I protect this place.
So, okay. So they're gonna generate the thing. Drain one from a unit to summon a spiderling. I guess that doesn't help us, huh?
Ever watchful.
So they need healing to not die to these. Close one.
Until our paths cross once more.
Wingspan in the future, potentially. You can, if you're interested in seeing some Wingspan gameplay, you can check out my my YouTube channel. The link is below the stream. There's a link below the stream, and you can see some past games that we've played there. It has been a while since I've played, but it's definitely a game I still enjoy and something I could stream or record videos for in the future. I have a few other things on my hit list though, so I actually probably want the Ruination in this deck, huh? I have a bunch of other board game content that I plan on posting at some point, so...
If they're out there, I'll spot them. For the homestead!
To heal and protect.
It's slightly more resource efficient down the line, I suppose, to use this Entreat now, but I think I'd rather bank the one additional spell mana.
I will find the goodness in you, River King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance, child.
I should have just played the Catalyst.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
Yeah, I should have just played the Catalyst. That was a mistake. Because the health wasn't really relevant. Okay, I'm just gonna pass again, see what they do.
Put me in, Tommy boy!
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate, Pablo. Let us peruse this establishment's fare.
Aye, right. Should have stayed.
Take heart.
Put me in, Tommy boy!
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate you, Pablo.
I weave my own weave.
I guess I'm slowly losing to this.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
We shall weave our own destiny.
For silver I talk, for gold I feast it.
Take heart. Live with purpose. For life.
They're probably not attacking.
I hear them!
I think I need the Vile Feast for when I want to pop spell shields from Bastion. Is that correct? Hmm.
Something ancient stirs.
This'll take the chill off.
Awkward game. Interesting card from them. I think I'm just gonna do this. They're probably not attacking with this.
I protect this place. I will be reborn. The Freljord's eternal guardian!
Kill an ally to summon a follower that costs 1 more from your deck. These are gumming up our board, aren't they now? That's so annoying. So now what do I do? Do I just gluttony it anyway? Maybe? Because then I get the, then I get the egg at least, which will get created the next turn.
We each died, then found home.
I have to pass here because I don't want to give them opportunity to heal a bunch of guys.
A new era begins! Snow, wind, and ice!
This is actually a pretty good draw because it means it kind of screws up his math a little bit.
You pay first.
I want these to die, so I'm gonna let them die and then finish these things off. Actually, I'm gonna do this first because it does kill this. So we'll see if that works. But he might decide to invest more into this. In which case we vengeance. Deal. That doesn't do anything, because this thing only has 4 HP max anyway. I stand corrected. So we actually lose it. GG, good game. I think I played that definitely wrong. There was a turn where I was supposed to play a Catalyst of Aeons, so we could have gotten enlightened a lot sooner. That was definitely a mistake, and who knows how that would have changed the game. Being up ahead 1 whole mana would have changed a lot. I mean, we wouldn't have had as much spell mana, sure, but... I think maybe also trying to do stuff with the Vile Feast was also wrong. I should have thought about the fact that, well, there's a good chance he has... Probably want the Vile Feast in this matchup, actually. There's a good chance he has ways to heal his unit through the Vile Feast, and I'm just going to end up gumming up my board. If I hadn't done that, I could have I think I could have gotten a bigger board with Anivia's sooner, and then really devastated his board so he wouldn't have had any units past that one combat step where we vengeanced his final thing.
Nothing escapes my watch.
So they are like a more aggressively slanted mid-range deck. They have big top end, obviously, in the form of Swains and Leviathans and potentially Riptide Rexes if they're going that far. But our start is pretty good against their aggressive game plan. Now we just need to actually find the Anivias we need to close the game out. To help us close the game out. I think I'll just go ahead and do this. It deals 1, gives us a 1/1 blocker for their 3/1.
In Avarosa's name, safeguard our homes. Alert the village.
Definitely wanted to churn through our deck and make sure we're finding our stuff, so. I guess we had this in Treat that we would have been able to use. Still, I don't know that the 2/1 or whatever is worth keeping around necessarily. I might actually double Vile Feast the Zap.
I don't change fate, but I can see
Now that's not necessary. Let's go ahead and do it now. Use our resources a little bit here.
I've whipped up something special.
like getting these on 1 because we have Withering Whales in our deck. It's also potential
Here in your time of need.
to kill them with an Anivia trigger here. Good chance they are playing something like Culling Strike in their deck though.
See what others.
You pay first.
I'll just do this in response. Now they might play the Culling Strike. But that's fine. We have actual Rekindler in our hands, so.
Endless cold. Endless peace.
Runation's a decent pickup. For sure. And we're definitely going to look to play a Rekindler on this turn.
Deal me in. I'm a people person.
Return to us. Bleed for Noxus. Victory awaits. Leave them nothing. Witness strength. Come from the dark.
Easy block here.
My time.
Our open attacks wipe out their board, so.
I bring the storm.
There is assistant.
I think this game's basically over at this point.
Perfect stillness.
For conquest! For empire! We're going under! Master your duties.
I could even Ruination here, but I don't think it's necessary.
Leave your bags in the door. Come back next time.
I'm probably just supposed to. Well, then if he has another Culling Strike, we get in trouble. I'm just gonna pass.
We are at war.
The Freljord's eternal guardian.
Probably supposed to do this.
The icy grip of death falls.
Keep up, keep up.
Let's soar! The cycle is complete.
Endless winter, endless peace. Pretty good game so far, kind of showcasing the power of this sort of all-in Anivia plan. Okay. Not sure how this matchup goes, honestly. Flash Freeze seems like it'll be a very good card for this deck, for this match. I mean, we always want to see Anivia's, but we have so many copies of it. I think like Gluttony, mulliganing for Gluttony is the more important thing, but I like Avaros and Sentry early because can block some of their early aggression. So double Flash Freeze is nice. One of our Vengeances is nice.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Yeah. Our hand is shaping up pretty well so far, seems to me.
For the homestead.
Kind of forgot these were in our deck. We haven't seen one in 3 games. 2 games? 2 games, right?
Water changes but never breaks.
Actually, Avalanche here. Is that too aggressive? They obviously have ways to protect that in hand. I'm gonna pass.
My shield is yours.
That's awkward. Okay. I'm gonna pass.
Sweep them away.
Ready the torches.
Is a Flash Freeze worth denying them a card draw here? Actually, this is a mass way to remove barriers as the game goes on. I think I'll just let them draw the card. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. Well, now I'm gonna Flash. Well, now I'm gonna Flash Freeze.
What form will the waters take?
Light the signal fires.
And I might Avalanche this coming turn. I have 6. I might actually deny this. Yeah.
These woods protect their own. I've got your back. Nature blesses her followers.
See if this works.
Waters are still.
Who would trespass here?
It's a Catalyst of Aeons. Let's Avalanche this board, see what he does. River Shaper.
Rivers shape the land and give it life.
Come on in.
You're in over your head.
Let's talk about your dad.
A gift from the river folk. Who's gonna close up?
The spirit of winter awakens.
What form will the waters take?
Rest in ice.
So this is what I was talking about in the start of the set. Like having a way to like burst speed level. Oh, that's only at the round start. Right. Alright, never mind. Yikes. I need to go like this. I'm not conceding just yet. Okay.
A gift from the river folk.
A new era begins!
You're in over your head. What form will the waters take?
Unfortunately, they've probably drawn a bunch of denies now, so this Ruination's probably not going to be very good. Which is unfortunate. We've also haven't seen any of our Rekindlers. We haven't gotten our Gluttonies, so that's all very problematic.
Back to the door.
Guess I'm just gonna open attacks here, potentially kill the River Shaper, so he stops generating them card advantage. The fact that they got that second River Shaper really sucks. We had them down to like 0 cards in hand, practically, and they just found everything they needed. Even these Vile Feasts would have been nicer earlier to pop the barrier, so we would have at least traded with their River Shapers as they were doing their thing. That all was very, very unfortunate. And of course, had I not been a big dummy and... Ooh, maybe I'm supposed to try to Vile Feast that, actually. And try to do the Anivia level up thing.
Strength and grace, beauty in the blade.
Stuff. I'm just gonna pass. They have deny. There's just a good chance that they're never gonna not hold it up. We really needed to dodge that from the
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
from that River Shaper. Other Anivia's not bad, I suppose. We'll try. I'm assuming it's getting denied. Really? Wonder what they drew then.
Something ancient stirs. Let's soar!
a long path to get here. Show them what we're made of. Don't hold back.
I will endure.
Seriously? Okay. Well, if they didn't have the denies, they gotta have, like, a concerted strike for this, right?
A new era begins.
How do they not... What do they have in their hand? Finally, we get a Rekindler.
Come to the light.
Maybe it's just a bunch of, like, sharp sights and other, like, barrier things.
Stand for what's right.
Okay, you're still dead, so that's fine. Guess I'll pop the barrier here so that you lose everything. What are we looking at here if he notifies? Down to 3? I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to Vile Feast one more time. Yeah, get it down to 1. Okay, despite me playing like ass, we're still kind of in this.
Be reborn.
Not kind of in this, we're like way ahead. Even if he top decks like a Steel Formation is like one of the best cards he could have in his deck, that's not gonna do anything. Speaking of. So that's gonna get Fearsome, but this can block there, this can block there, and with the Withering Wail kills it. There's no harm in me doing this now, then.
Ever watchful.
We burn, then kindle anew.
Right on!
Such naivete.
Wow. Ooh.
The cycle is complete.
Late game power level of this deck really shining through, because like I played that terribly and we still won. We had some bad luck, and then I played bad, and then we still won because Anivia Rekindler is just such a nasty combination. Gluttony is important. Entreat helps us find our Anivias for sure, but drawing them naturally better. Plus, I would like to see some early game too. Catalyst is nice.
Witness perfection, meatbags. Witness me.
See what we draw here. We're probably just going to Catalyst heal for 1 in ramp
Perfection.
to make sure that we're using our resources. Guess I could kindly Tavern Keeper makes his open attack slightly worse, while also using up our mana for the turn. I think this is fine.
Safety disengaged.
Maybe I should have assumed he would just play. Nah, I can't. I think a good player just passes.
This one's on the house.
Pretty sure a good player will just pass there if I do nothing with 6 mana.
Can you improve
I think
perfection?
it's worth trying to get the extra value off of waiting for him to ignition.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
Sure, I think I'm okay with that.
Eyes open.
Probably actually supposed to do this. That means we can play our Anivia out next turn, attack in. Twisted Fate is like 1 damage away from dying, which means his Vile Feast can hopefully finish it off before he levels up.
Primed and ready.
Ooh, that's a double Vile Feast, though. I think I'm supposed to not risk. Actually, let's start with this. See what he does. Almost certainly I'm not supposed to risk this leveling up. If I have the option, I'm gonna kill him. Double Vile Feast for sure, I think, is the play here. He could actually just level up Twisted Fate in response, though. Now that I think about it, with their archetype, they could easily do that. But who knows? Maybe he plays like a Zap Spraven and he doesn't have Rummage. That would be nice. Nope, has Rummage. Alright.
Looks like I'm on a hot streak.
Maybe I'm supposed to attack and try to kill Twisted Fate in response because of that. It looks like it didn't matter. Like he had this bin stress testing to do that. I think that's okay. I think we're gonna play Anivia now and then like try to get value off of.
Soak it in.
Okay, so he's not drawing whatever card that is because his hand's full.
Something ancient stirs.
Maybe this is a mistake because he's yet to do gold card and all that shit. Now I think about it. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a lot to learn with this deck and my sequencing. My sequencing has left a lot to be desired so far, for sure.
I'm a people person.
I guess this is what's gonna get gold carded, so never mind. Okay.
Dead in their tracks. I'm back next time.
Tomorrow we rise anew.
Well, that means that, Rekindler has text.
System upgrade.
That's a second Rekindler, so that's really nice. This is dying. This is almost certainly dying to a red card at some point anyway. So. I can't Rekindler this turn, though. Maybe I'm supposed to flash freeze this then? And make him use the red card? Nah, he's almost certainly red carding. I'll just keep my life total high. Okay, let's just pass then. Next turn we can Rekindler and actually have Gluttony up, which is nice. Okay.
Eyes open.
We had a really good start this game, but him getting like the turbo level Twisted Fate probably gonna put us away. I think if we had, if he didn't have level Twisted Fate, or if he got it a little bit later, we would have been in an okay spot. We're not like completely out of it yet, but this is gonna be tough. Because we're still quite a ways away from being enlightened, and we really need an enlightened Anivia to start doing her thing. The regular one we're gonna get off of the Rekindle, I don't think will be good enough. That's a Ruination though. Probably just supposed to play that and hope that his hand is garbage. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Now that we've drawn it. Yeah. I was thinking if he has more of these, at least we have a Vile Feast to kill it like on open attacks next turn, but now he's got a slightly bigger one, so that's not good. Avalanches would have been nice this game too, huh? I think we're dead from here, and even if we can pull it back in, it would feel kind of unfair. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Our opponent's just gonna like sit there playing a ton of cards. We're gonna be waiting, and ultimately we're just gonna probably die. So I'm just gonna move on to another game. About ready to move on from this deck anyway. Move on to a different game for the rest of the stream. If I felt like we were still in a good spot after that, I would keep playing it, but since we're still likely to lose, I think it's just it's not good TV. Let's just move on, play a more interesting game. Like I said, if we were able to dodge the level Twisted Fate that early in the game, I think we'd be in a better spot. We needed the Twisted Fate to level a little bit later. And we also needed, yeah, that's basically it. I think that might actually be a pretty good matchup for us outside of that, to be honest. With all the Avalanche and other sweepers, or sweeper-like effects we have in the game, I think that's an okay matchup for us. Level Twisted Fate's probably one of the few, especially one that early, is probably one of the few things that can give us a tough time. That's it. This is a matchup I haven't played in a while, and certainly have never played it with this deck. I want the Vengeance for their Sejuanis that can be nasty. I guess we don't care about our unit's attack power that much, to be honest. We just care about leveled Anivias doing their thing. So we can play this as early as turn 6, which is when these champions start coming down. So he's a 5-drop actually, but still. This might be pretty good against early aggression / powder monkeys. Like, these decks are often running like powder monkey shenanigans. Avalanche should be good for a similar reason. Kindler's okay, especially if we can get it off with a whatchamacallit.
The strong don't want mercy.
So they're running a... So their deck is full of 1-drops plus these champions, I guess? Maybe that's what they're up to? I'll just do this now. Open attacks next turn is not that bad.
Ready, aim.
What will you have?
They're gonna pass. See what they do. If they play anything, I'm probably just gonna Avalanche. But if they want to pass and not play to the board with their 8 mana, I'm fine with that too. We don't have any decent plays anyway. I could, I guess, Ruinate too, depending on what they do. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Second Ruination. Just looking for Anivias at this point.
Carved from the savage cold.
Deal a Reno. Something to spend our mana on. One of which is a big hit, so I like that.
What's theirs is ours.
Gonna pass again. Monkey Idol. Not a big deal.
This'll take the chill off.
I never.
There we go.
I've carved meat bigger than you.
The Freljord's eternal guardian!
What do we think? They don't really have anything that can stop this, right? Even if they do, it's not a really big deal.
Time to reflect.
We burn then kindle anew.
Now we get to play Chronicler of Ruin too? That's nasty. You got me.
There was hope.
We each died, then found home.
Yeah, I'm interested to know if the opponent has anything that can stop this. Because even like a Sejuani and like multiple burst speed plunder effects, like it's fine, but like we're dealing 6 damage with the glacial storms, whatever they're called. Yeah.
Eyes up here, or I'll cut him out. Let's soar!
They could have some
Easy,
harsh winds of
tiger.
their own to like block. That monkey idol's dead anyway. Oh, it can't block. Oh, they're just dead. No, they're down. They go down to 2.
Your king has returned.
Dead men tell my tale.
So we're at a virtual 17 with this Withering Whale in hand, which we can actually use to pop that. That's it. They've only activated Plunder twice this game. I could avalanche, but it's not necessary. They need to go much wider than this. Like, I'm hoping they play a second one of these and we just savage them with...
Break their legs.
Off with ye!
Do I even need to vengeance this? Definitely doing this. I think I want to flash freeze that. What does flash freeze let us do? Lets us hold up. That's damage we would have taken anyway.
Explosives!
For my homeland!
So can he deal 11 damage to my
Try
face
not to
inside
any
of
good.
combat? This is the last match we're just gonna watch the Blizzardy destruction. Yeah, this has got to be one of the best late game decks, if not the best late game deck
Until
in the
our
game
paths
right now.
cross once more.
Fun stuff. I can see why people like playing this game so much, this deck so much. All right, that's gonna do it for me. As for the wrap up on that deck, yeah, it felt awesome. I don't think I'd change a single thing about it so far. I think everything in the deck is in the quantities it needs to be. I will admit I was a little, like very early on when I was playing around with this deck, I was skeptical about the harrowing. I was like, is this necessary? I feel like oftentimes we have so much Anivias and other stuff to be doing, other stuff on our board between all the Rekindlers and like Chronicler of Ruins and Gluttonies and all this stuff. But it's just having this in your back pocket as a just in case, I think is a good thing. And it definitely showed its power in that one game we had when our opponent was able to kind of pick apart our game plan, get rid of our kind of combo pieces, let's call them, to prevent us from doing just that, going wide with Anivias, and then the harrowing just came in and said, okay, all that work you did, I've now undid it for 9 mana. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Okay, that's gonna do it for me for Runeterra this week. Normally I play 3 to 4 decks and move on to something else if there's time, but these were the only kind of 2 decks that I was interested in playing this week, and I'm very pleased with both of them. Both were very, very fun, so we're going to move on to the next game today after a quick break.